Hello! Today I'll be showing you how to make a simple Turk's head woggle or neckerchief slide, such as this one I made earlier today. At the end of each stage of the process, you will have an opportunity to rewind the video and see that stage again by clicking on a small button on the left hand side of the screen. For example, this button here. If you couldn't see a button there, then you will need to turn on annotations, and you can do this by clicking on a small button on the bottom bar on the right hand side. For this task you will need approximately 125 centimeters or 4 feet of thin rope. I'm using 3mm nylon rope. I've melted the ends to make sure that the ends don't fray. Okay, to start off, hold your hands like so. If you have smaller hands, you may need to use 3 fingers. Take the rope, drape it over the top, and then hold with your thumb. Take the long end, and then loop it over the top, like so, and then repeat in the opposite direction. Now we take this end and pass it underneath this end. Like so. Now we're ready to turn our hands over. When we turn our hands over, we should be able to see 2 parallel ones here and here, and the main working end coming out over here like that. For the next stage, take the one furthest towards the end of the fingers and pass it underneath this one, forming a loop. Like so. Then take the long working end and pass it underneath the one on the left, and then up through the middle, and then over the one on the right, like so. Then pass this one underneath here. Now we're going to need to rotate round so we can see on the other side again. Now I've turned my hands back over again, you will see that if I pass the working end over the top of this one and then underneath this one here, we'll be back exactly parallel to our original stationary end here. Like so. Now it's simply a case of doubling up, following the stationary end as it goes under and over successive loops. After a little while we will come back to the stationary end once again, and we can now treble it up by following both of these in exactly the same way as before. Remember to keep the successive ropes parallel to each other for the best decorative effect. When you have been round 3 times, then we can stop. You may find some of the loops are just a little bit too loose, and so if that's the case, put your thumb in the middle and then you can slowly work from the top and just pull each strand in turn and follow the loop round until you get to the end. Make sure during this process that all the parallel ropes stay parallel and don't cross over each other. Once you've finished tightening, it's now time to finish off. So we can cut off any excess . Like so. There are 2 ways that you can finish off the woggle and stop the ends from falling apart. You can either glue them down on the inside, or you can use a little bit of heat and melt the ends to seal the end, which is what I'm going to do. To melt the ends, I'm going to use an old piece of metal, such as this tent peg. I'm just going to heat it up gently on the hob here. When hot enough, simply place on the ends, like so, and it will just melt and seal it like that. So once you've let it cool, you then have your completed Turk's head woggle. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.